Hi everybody, this is Mike of the Michael W. Hull channel, and tonight I'm going to be specifically preparing my Level 2 students for the in-person exam here in the local studio with the Royal Conservatory of Music representative. There will be a practical exam in person, and that will take place starting at 9 o'clock and 9:16 for my two students doing that this time. So you're doing Level 2 practical exam. Let me start off right away with intervals and then chords, and we'll talk about some things that the examiner will do. But I did send your parents a specific link to the RCM 2018 guitar syllabus, which is in effect. There are 87 pages to it, but, excuse me, the only pages that are relevant to you right now are pages 21 and 22. 21 and 22, the pages in the syllabus, deal specifically with the musicianship section of the exam that deal with intervals, chords, playback, and clapback, as we talked about in our lessons. We'll do more of that in lessons coming up. We have some more lessons before the exam. If you have a sibling or a parent that plays, especially keyboard or piano, that would be helpful. If you need that resource, of course, we do a bit of this in, playback and clapback and intervals, chords, and lessons. But if people can help you at home, that's good too. As you get into higher levels, you'll need more digital learning and more resources. But now, you'll have this video where you can listen back. So let's talk about the intervals. Intervals are distances between notes. And you find those in scales, in arpeggios, just a distance from one note to the next, like C to D, C to E. And they have different sounds. So the three intervals that you will specifically need to identify by name for the examiner when they play them are the minor third, major third, and perfect fifth. Now the examiner will play the interval in the melodic form, meaning they'll play one after the other. They could be ascending or descending. So you might hear a low to a high note or high to a low note. In any case, they'll play at one time. You have to listen very carefully because they'll play at one time, and then you have to identify the interval as minor third, major third, or perfect fifth. And I will play each interval at least twice, just for your practice. And we'll do another section at the end of the video. The melodic form, as I said, each note is played one at a time. So here's the first example, and you can listen and then identify. You won't be able to see my fingers or the examiner's fingers when they play, likely on the piano for this exam, but I'm playing on the guitar. You want to identify that particular interval as minor third, major third, or perfect fifth. Here's the second interval. And here's another interval. Now let's get very specific as we talked about how we practice these. You don't have to play in the exam, but you can practice these on your instrument, on your guitar. So as we talked about how to find these notes on the guitar, let's do it again. Let's take specifically A to a C. Now an A on the guitar, of course, we're going to deal with third string, second fret, second finger, like we did in our lessons. And then the minor third from the A is a C. A, B, C. That's where the 3 comes from. There are 3 letters. There are 3 letter names, A, B, C, involved in that interval. And you're skipping the second, which is a B. So your A to C is a minor third. A and then C on the second string first fret that shape. So A to C. Now we can move that up the neck like to B flat and D flat and B and D, C and E flat. You don't know what key the examiner is going to play for the intervals. They're more specific in other things, but not these. That's to be determined by them at the exam. So, but you can know the sound of the interval. Now, playing it on your guitar and listening to it, and then identifying it with a tune. In this case, a song that we've done in the past, Greensleeves. Greensleeves starts with a minor third. Da da. There are a lot of versions of that song, but it starts with a minor third, and you can associate that in your memory. It's good if you sing these things. You don't have to be a singer. I'm not a singer at all, but I'm singing these intervals as well as playing them for your benefit. Not for my beautiful voice, but to understand the interval. So that's a minor third. The major third, in this case, we're playing A, third string, second fret, second finger, second string, second fret, third finger. That is the beginning of Oh When the Saints, Oh When the Saints, da da, major third, A to C sharp. You can move that. We can also do the perfect fifth, which sounds like, I kind of goofed that a little bit, but that's the Star Wars theme. You know the Star Wars movies. Da 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 da. So the perfect fifth you can play in the A, third string, second fret, first finger, and then the open E, first string open. Or you can play second string, fifth fret. Second string, fifth fret, first string open are the exact same note. They're both E's. So you could move that around the neck, but practice that and listen for that Star Wars theme. Those are intervals. The triads, three, tri means three, triangle, trinity, whatnot. So the triad chord is a three-note chord. They have more intervals in them, but you need to be able to identify the quality of the triad, which is major or minor. The minor triad you can play almost like the intervals. Play A, C, and then add an open E. So go back to what you did for the minor third, which is third string, second fret, second string, first fret, A, C, and then E, open E. That's a minor. To make a major, just play A, C sharp, E. A, C, E is the minor triad. A, C sharp, E is the major triad. Now the examiner will play each triad one time in blocked form, meaning it's played together. Now you heard me separate them just so you can hear them and you can listen and learn that. But they will play on the exam one time all together. So those are the triads. Now let me play a few and you identify these. Okay, here is the first triad. Is it major or minor? Here's the second one. Is this major or minor triad? Which one is it? All right, now let's go back to the intervals. You can rewind this as much as you want, as they say back in the old days with cassette tapes. Let me play intervals and I'll play the triads again. Here's the first interval. Your choices are minor third, major third, or perfect fifth. Examiner will play it once. I'm playing everything 2 times. Here's another interval. And here's another one. We can do these in lesson. You can record these on your smartphone and practice as much as you want. So those are the intervals and chords that you need to know. Now let's talk about the other aspects of musicianship that you're responsible for. You're responsible for being able to sight read a single line melody. A single line melody. Now we've been practicing in some of the books you've had, including your level 2 RCM book, other pieces in the book. So we've been sight reading a little bit over that level, which is fine. But they'll expect you to play a single line melody. It will be 2 to 4 measures long, and in C major or A minor natural. So C major or A minor natural 4/4 time, about 2 to 4 measures, sight reading, and also a single line, and also they'll give you sight clapping. Sight clapping is obviously just playing. I mean, these are not percussion lessons, but the idea in clapping, whether it be clapping back or sight or clapping rhythm from sight, you want to have metric accentuation and steady pulse. That just means a steady beat, like we always teach, and you want it to sound like a musical line. So if you hear a good percussionist or drummer, they play musically. It's not just hitting a dead surface. So you don't want this, but more. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, music has a beat, it has life. It's not just 1, 2, 3, 4, but 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So about a 2 to 4 measure example in 4/4 time. The note values you need to know for this are whole note, 4 beats. Dotted half note is 3 beats. The half note is 2 beats. The quarter note is 1 beat. And then eighth notes, 2 eighth notes make up a quarter or a beat. So an eighth note is half a beat. Eighth notes, whole notes, dotted half notes, then the quarter note is 1 beat. The quarter rest is 1 beat. You may encounter a rest in the clapping, sight clapping, and sight reading. So sight reading music, sight clapping, you may encounter rest, and that's just as important. A quarter rest is like a quarter note, except it's silent. So when you're sight clapping, they'll give you an example. You can't see my foot, but you can. I'm tapping. So if it's in 3/4 time, you'll need to start out before you clap the example by going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. I'm just clapping a specific rhythm. Let's say the rhythm is 1, 2, and 3, like a quarter, 2 eighth notes and a quarter. Your foot needs to tap the quarter notes. So your foot is tapping 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or if you're in 4/4 time, start off before you clap 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And let's say you're tapping with your foot 4/4 time. Let's say let me give you a 2 measure example. Say you have 2 half notes and 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the single line melody, you know the notes on your strings very well because you synthesize all this information through your technique and your studies, your study pieces and your list pieces. Your list pieces, of course, are the 2 pieces you've memorized, and then your 2 study pieces, which you use the book. So when you get here at your lesson next time, we'll take the program form that we've printed off the RCM site, either you or me. We'll fill in all the information, all the page numbers and names of pieces, and there'll be further instructions about how to approach the exam on that Sunday morning. I know you know your times. I'll be here to support you. I won't have anything to do with the exam. There's certain protocol. Any questions you have will be covered in lessons. I can do more videos. You'll be ready. So that's the sight clapping and the sight reading, chords and intervals for level 2. Let's talk about the scales and keys needed to understand clapback and playback. Now, these are not the scales in level 2 that you played from memory, all the major and minor scales with the chords at the end. That's different. That's different. That's for your technique, that and the arpeggios. This is for the clapback and playback of specific melodies that the examiner will play for you, likely on the piano. So you have to be able to clap back, and you have to play back the melody on your guitar as well. So the 3 keys that we've talked about having to know for that are G major, F major, and D minor. Now you don't have to worry about D minor, melodic, or harmonic. Just D minor. It's the first 5 notes of the scale. So that's automatically a natural minor scale. You have to know the first 5 notes of each of these scales. The melody will be based on those 3 keys. G major, and that G major scale you can use is on page 6 of your technique book. So your technique book and the scales and the preparatory level, G major on page 6, sounds like this. There are 5 notes. Those are the 5 notes in which the melody will be composed and played to you. And so you'll clap back a rhythm and play back the melody. So the G major is on page 6. Page 9 has the F major and D minor scales. So page 9 in your scale book, F major, watch out for the B flat on the 3rd string, 3rd fret. You have F, G, A, B flat, C. That's the first 5 notes of F major. And then finally, D minor, the first 5 notes, D, E, F, G, A. Now the examiner can start on the tonic note, which is the main tone, or the first note of the scale. So in the case of G, it would be G. Or they might start on the dominant, which is the 5th note of the scale. It won't be in between. The melody will either start, if you're in G major, for instance, the melody will either start on G, the first note of the scale, or D, the 5th note of the scale. The same for the other keys, too. All right. So this will be a 2 to 3 measure example for you. They'll do 2 to 3 measures. The note values you need to be clear on are the whole note, which is 4 beats, the dotted half note, which is 3, half note is 2 beats, quarter note is 1, 8th note is a half a beat. 2 8th notes together are like a quarter note or a beat. The dotted quarter note followed by an 8th note, which is a beat and a half. So a dotted quarter note is like 1, 2, and. Some of you are playing that in your pieces, so you're familiar with the dotted rhythms. So dotted rhythms are important. I don't know how much of that will be involved in the clapback playback, but those are the note values you're responsible for. The examiner will play the melody 2 times at first, and you'll clap it back after the 2nd time. So you'll have 2 times to just listen to the melody and clap back the rhythm. the examiner will count off the first measure and give you the time signature. So they'll say, okay, 3/4 time, 1, 2, 3, and then you'll clap back whatever they play. That's good and fair. So they'll give you some. You won't be guessing. You'll 4/4 time, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll clap back what they play. Then they'll play the melody twice more, the same melody, and they'll tell you the key and play the tonic triad. So in the key of G major, they'll say, okay, G major, here's the G, tonic triad. And they'll play the melody 2 times, and you play it back on your guitar. All right, so let's do some examples of that. Here is G major. I'm going to play a melody, and I'm improvising these. I'm going to keep them pretty simple. We'll likely do another video of some more that I write out, so play them the same every time. Here is G major. Now we're going to be in 3/4 time. So here's the first measure. 1, 2, 3. And again. 1, 2, 3. Now the examiner will play it twice. They probably will not count off twice like that, though. So let's do another one. 4/4 time, G major. 1, 2, 3, 4. Three, 4. That's just for the clap back. Now, I gave you 2 examples to save time, but if we're on the examination, they'll play the same melody 4 times. So let me be clear on that. That was just for practice. So if we're playing clap back, I would play one example. Not me, but the examiner. Play it again. And then you clap back. All right. Now, then they play the melody again 2 times. And then you play it. All right, let's do one F major. F major, 3/4 time. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. Then we play the F major tonic, and you play the melody back this time. 1, 2, 3. Now let's go to D minor. First 5 notes of D minor. 1, 3/4 time. 1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3. This time, here's the D minor. We're in 3/4 time. Here's the D minor tonic triad. 1, and you play back the melody. 1, 2, 3. once more. All right, so we'll do more of these in lessons and also some more videos. Thank you for listening. I told your parents I'd have probably about a 15-minute video. This is 25 plus. So I will look forward to seeing you again, and good night, everybody.